Hello, basketball coaches and basketball players. My name is Alan from Al's Basketball Training, and today I'm going to give you some fantastic 2-1-2 screen and roll basketball plays. Now, the 2-1-2 offense is not necessarily an offense that I've covered a lot of. Not many coaches use it, but I find it super effective against both man-to-man and zone defenses. So what I'm going to show you today is a couple of plays against a man-to-man defense, as well as a couple of plays against a zone defense. And I'm going to start more on the advanced side for each, and then I'm going to progressively get easier with each play. And then we're going to start into a zone, against a zone, and again going harder again into softer plays. Let's get down to the clipboard. Let's check this out. Of course, I'm wearing my pink shirt today because of anti-bullying. There's a lot of bullying happening right now in Hamilton, so we need to crush this crap. But anyways, let's get down to the clipboard. Hit that like button and subscribe if you like videos like this. Okay, so first we're up against a man-to-man defense, and what we are going to start against here, or start with here, is we're going to have player 4 set a screen for player 1, and player 5 is going to be setting a screen away for player 3. Player 2 is going to get wider in hopes of bringing player 2 red away from the key. Player 1 is going to use that screen. He can drive right towards the rim and score. We can also have player 4 roll off and be an option for a pass and easy layup. But also we have player 3 heading out towards the free throw line so that we could have both 3 or 4 different options here. We have the option for player 1 to take the shot or drive. That's 2 options right there. We have an option for player 4 to go in for a layup with the assist. And then we also have an option for player 3 if he's open for a quick mid-range jumper. Now, player 3, if he's a really good three-point shooter, he could also pop out to the three-point line instead, and he could jack up that three-point shot as well. Now, what's going to happen here, if this was a really strong screen, player 3 is going to be wide open. And now at this point, player 2 might be coming over to flex over to try and defend player 3, as obviously nobody's on him. And if that's the case, player 2 could step in and take that shot if player 3 decides to make the extra pass. It's all about reading and reacting to the defense. Now, going into the reading and reacting, I always really like to have my players understanding from day one and the beginning of the season to understand that I'm not out there as a coach to have you run a set play. This is what we're going to do. This is where you're going to move. I only want you to go along these certain lines. I want you to react to what the defense is giving you. So if you can make the extra pass, or if you see that, hey, I'm not that great of a shooter, this side's wide open, maybe I can do a dribble handoff with that player over there, and we can get some kind of a screen and roll action, and I might be open for a layup. Whatever it may be, read and react to the defense, see what the defense is giving you, and go and score. I like to run plays. I'm an X's and O's coach, but if you see something open, or if an open area of the court and you're not being covered, definitely take it. Take the advantage. Let's get down to the clipboard. Let's check out this next play. Okay, so in this next play, what we're going to be having is player 4, he's going to be setting a screen up for player 2, and at the same time, we're going to be having player 5 pop out towards the three-point line, and player 3 setting a screen for player 1. So once those screens are set, we're going to be having player 2, he's going to decide to either cut towards the rim or pop down towards this corner. The idea behind this is player 1 is also going to be using that screen, and he has an option depending on what the defense is giving him. So if player 4's man drops off to defend player 1, then it might not be a great idea or decision for player 2 to drop down. It'll be a great decision for him to pop out to this corner so player 1 can do a hammer pass out to player 2. Player 4 can then roll off of that screen and pop up towards the free throw line extended, because what's going to happen is player 2 red is going to be following his man, and look, nobody is guarding player 4. Now player 4 is going to be open for that three-point shot. Again, reading the defense and reacting. Player 1 could have had that open layup. That's a possibility. Player 2 might have had that open three-point shot. That's a possibility. He may have had that drive open still with Player 4 right on Player 1. That would be still a great option to pass to for a layup. And if he gets the ball hammer pass out towards the corner, that extra pass gets us a player wide open. Now another play that you can run, this one's even easier. So what we're going to be having is Player 5 just setting a simple screen for Player 1. Player 1 is going to use that screen, and it's going to be a screen and roll. So Player 1 could take that mid-range or three-point shot. Now, if he does take that three-point shot and Player 3 is closing out on him, Player 3 blue should be wide open. He could also be cutting towards the rim, and we can hit him up. But if nobody pops out, he could take that shot. If there's a switch, Player 5 may be open for a layup. Again, players close out. We have a shot. Very simple. And then, either way, whether or not they are switching or not, we can still have Player 5 roll towards the basket or pop out for a three-point shot as well. The other thing, what's good about this play is it could set you up for the 5-out offense. So if you're running a simpler offense, and this is a simple set play to run, we now have a pass over to Player 5. We are now in a 5-out offense. So you can do something simple like a pass and screen away, or a pass and screen 4, or a pass and cut. And then obviously players would fill. I've got other videos on that though. I'm not going to go over the 5-out offense here in this video. But this is just simple offense that you could run. You could have a couple of set plays like this one to go into a 5-out, and then you've got yourself a 5-out to run. Now let's go over to a zone defense and check out some of these plays. Now really quickly, one way that you can beat a zone defense is by attacking the gaps, but also doing high to low passes. Let me show you some fantastic screen and roll plays that you can run against a zone with this offense. Okay, so here we have a 2-3. Most likely you're going to be seeing Player 4 on the block, Player 5 playing a bit higher, mainly because Player 5 blue is in the high post, and you generally don't want to have high to low passes. And then we're going to be having Player 3 out in the wing, kind of in the passing lane, so that Player 3 blue cannot get that ball. And, of course, we are spread out, mainly because, well, we want to spread out the zone because that is another way that you can beat a zone defense. So what we're going to be having here is Player 3 setting a screen for Player 1. Player 3 is going to use that screen, and that's going to be bringing Player 3 out. At this point in time, what I want to see happen is Player 3 roll towards the basket, and I want him to go and attack the rim. I want him to get pretty well right underneath the rim. Because what's going to happen now is once he gets past that second or first hash mark, I want Player 5 to go to the high post and Player 2 to show towards the point. The reason why we want to do this is that's going to bring Player 1 still high enough so that he's not guarding the high post, so we can have that high to low pass. This is now going to be having Player 5 pop out on Player 5. Player 3 is going to go to that low block, and now he's going to have a high to low pass and a very simple layup. Now, of course, if Player 3 red is smart and he comes down to stop the high to low pass, well, check it out. We have a wide open three-point shot sitting right there. Now, in this next play, what we're going to be doing is, against a 2-3 zone. Player 2 is going to set a screen on Player 1, and really quickly, we're going to do a bounce pass into Player 5. Now, what I want to see happen is Player 2. I want him to roll towards the basket off of that screen. Player 5 needs to stay in the middle of the free throw line. The reason for that is we're going to clear Player 1 out towards this free throw line extended on this side, and that's going to bring Player 5 red up. Player 2 is rolling towards the basket. Now he could be open for a bounce pass and a layup. Of course, that's going to collapse these two players underneath, in which case, if he can't get that layup up, we're going to be having two options for him to pass to. If his momentum is bringing him towards this side, he should kick it out to Player 4. The reason for that is that's going to now bring Player 2 red over to defend Player 4 as basically a clear out just to try and stop that shot from happening. Now, player 4 is going to have a high probability of making that shot because he's going to be wide open. But if player 2 is really quick, this will be an extra pass. And now we've got the zone centered in the middle. We've also got player 2 way out of position, especially if he's trying to close out on player 4. So that does leave player 1 absolutely wide open. They're going to be scrambling, they're going to be out of their zones, and you're going to be scoring a ton of points off of this play. Now, against a 3-2 zone, what you're going to be seeing most likely is player 3 is going to be taking away the passing lane. You're going to be having player 1 pop out on player 1. This is going to be leaving player 2 defending 2 players here. So what I want to see happen is player 5 to set the screen for player 1. Player 2 is going to move over towards the free throw line extended, and now we're going to have player 1 use that screen. Of course, he could be taking that shot. That is a possibility. However, what's most likely going to happen is player 2 is going to be closing out on him to try and stop that shot from happening. Now player 1 has a decision to make. Player 5 is going to be rolling towards the basket, and this is at this point going to be his decision. Is he going to pass in for a layup, or is he going to pass out to player 2 for a 3-point shot? So player 2 is closed out. He has those two options. It's up to him. Personally, they're both great decisions, and let me explain to you why. If player 1 passes to player 5, that's a layup. If it's not a layup, you're going to be having players collapse on him, and he's going to be kicking it out to player 4. I do not want him to kick it out to player 3. There's just not enough players on that side for him to make the extra pass. There's too many defenders on that side. We now have the ability for player 5 to kick out to player 4 for a 3-point shot. Player 4 could take that 3-point shot, but we're also going to be having both player 2 and player 4 trying to close out on him to stop that shot. They're both going to be in panic mode. So what we're going to be seeing here is the ability for player 4 to take a shot. If not, he's going to make the extra pass to player 2 for that 3-point shot. I hope that these plays help your team win more games. If they do, hit that like button and subscribe and comment below. I want to hear from you. Anyways, I'll see you guys again later on today for the second video of the day.